Okay. One thing I try to do with my exhibits and my research is try to find interesting or even funny stories, and that really helps to engage with people and make the past seem more real. With the Whittling exhibit, Lost Towns, it was really easy because we have a lot of oral history that includes all kinds of stories and reminiscences from this place. Probably our big showstopper for this exhibit is the story of a gentleman and his issues with the living conditions at Whittling in the late 19th century. So a little bit of background, logging camps during the late 19th century in this part of the Pacific Northwest were rough living. Very rarely were there actual permanent built structures. A lot of times they camped in tents, or the men themselves had to pay to build or purchase their accommodations out at the work site. And this is in the middle of a muddy, dirty logging camp. So at Whittling, they actually did have a built cabin, and each cabin would house the entire work crew, which was anywhere from 8 to 20 men. In the 1880s, it was roughly 25 men and a cook and a foreman. And at this particular site, they had a huge problem with lice and fleas, which the company at the time wasn't particularly interested in dealing with. So one particular gentleman, whose name is lost to time, he's known as the Stump Man, got so fed up with conditions in the cabin that he turned a giant stump that they couldn't pull, the stump was about 10 feet tall, into a cabin for himself. So he built a little door on it and put a little roof on it, and he was memorialized in a photograph. The men in the cabin, and it's hard to tell if this was a continuation of the same story, if this event happened later, but the rest of the men got so fed up with the cabin that they fed steam from the little small mill that was built there in the 1880s, fed it through the cabin, closed up the cabin, and then just had it blasted with steam all day because they thought that would kill off the fleas. So they got back at the end of the workday, and all that they had found they had accomplished was melting the paint off the cabin walls, destroyed the furniture, and ruined everything in it, and they still had fleas. So issues like this and worker dissatisfaction actually led to a big change, which Whittling represents, which is the establishment of company towns with as good as they could provide, working conditions and permanent living situations in the form of bunkhouses. So this is a way to talk about issues like workers' rights with a little bit of humor and humanity. And also the Whittling Stump Man was a bit of a local celebrity, and he was even featured on postcards and things, and he's been used a lot in imagery for the museum for a number of years, so it's good to tell his story.